As it shifts from outdoor to indoor weather, my next guest wants you to put more focus on the people inside your home. Relationship contributor Dr. Matt Townsend says that every fall, he creates a list of character traits or virtues that he wants to prioritize. He calls them his relationship resolutions or his relationship bucket list. You don't normally share your own personal goals, which I respect, but today I'm really excited.
They're pretty messed up. So you don't want me to go there.
Today you're gonna.
I'm gonna share them. But I think of this as New Year's resolutions, and I like them in fall because we're about to be shut in. The weather's gonna bring us all together, and I know that I'm gonna have to really be way more attentive than I am sometimes in the summer.
That's a great point.
The world kind of distracts us when we're outdoors in life.
Do out there.
But now it's just in the house. Like COVID, I did this too because there was a lot of time together. So I had to learn to grow and create virtue in myself.
I love this so much,
practice.
Matt. And I will say, and I've said this before, I think fall is sort of women's new year anyway. There's something more invigorating, more motivating about this time of year as the seasons click. And so we're gonna replicate that in our relationships. As you share 4 things on your list, you want viewers to think about what they might add to theirs.
And then make your own list, and then you can share it with your partner, and then commit to it. Like, let's commit through the winter into, like, let's say March.
Okay.
Let's commit on strengthening this part of us, and then we'll hold each other accountable a little bit. Okay?
I love this. What's first?
Here's my first one. My first thing I want to grow is a curious heart, curious and interested heart.
Curious, good word.
A lot of times I get disinterested in certain conversations. Like, if the conversation doesn't pertain to me, I'll start drifting. And so, but what I find is that's offensive because I might just walk away. Like, this isn't for me. But the dilemma is, you know it and I know it. Everyone knows it. If I'm not interested, you know it. And so I want to pick up my game and actually lean in a little bit more, be more intentional. Listen to what they say, follow up with another question. When you said that, why is that so important to you? And go a little deeper into what they're saying. Even if the topic doesn't interest you, the person does. So show curiosity and show interest.
I have this standout memory, and it's one I think every teenager can probably appreciate, every parent too, but being in the car with my mom and wanting so badly for her to listen to this song. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, interesting.
The lyrics of a song, and she was on to the next, right? But it becomes what you just described. Even if you aren't interested, even if you aren't into it, get curious, go deeper.
Who you are speaks so loudly, I can't hear the words you're saying. So if I can influence you by just digging in and getting in and leaning in a little more, I'll get you to come out more. And just me being my best me gets you more out.
A curious heart. What else made your list?
Second is an unquestionable sense that you matter to me. I want people that I interact with to know they matter. And my family especially, right? But then everyone I interact with, I have a minute to meet somebody and interact. And I've been doing some speeches with some people that are really good at making people feel loved. And you only have 30 seconds when you're in a line meeting people. And these are just amazing people that do it really well. And right then, when I watched him especially take some people aside and have a moment, I thought, okay, they all leave knowing he cares, that he loves about them. And I want to see if I can't improve that.
My mind immediately went to a friend as well. And every time I get a text from her, I know I'm going to be seen. I'm going to be validated. There are people that just feel naturally gifted in this area. It's impressive.
And then some of us aren't. And we need to use a virtue and grow that virtue, right?
I like that.
Third one is a hawk-like attentiveness in the present moment. So if you've ever seen a hawk, we have a hawk in Draper. That's like taking animals away.
Have you named him?
No, he's scary.
He's a villain.
Yeah, and but they pay so much attention. And if something moves, they move. And so I want to have that attentiveness in the present with people. And even I also want to be able to not have people around me and be very attentive to myself in the present moment. I want to start noticing what I'm feeling in the moment. And then I can go back later and address when they said that, why did I feel that? And what drove me to actually argue in that moment. And I want to start being more present in my life and more present in my own awareness of what's happening to me, and also incredibly present with others.
It's such a natural reaction to jump ahead. Like, you're in the conversation, you're in it,
having it,
but you're thinking what you were going to say next, and even in a positive way, like how I'm going to relate or what I'm going to bring, but just being there, it takes discipline and practice.
And every time you already know what you're going to say, you're no longer creating anything new. You're now just regurgitating past thoughts.
Yeah.
So a lot of us are just in past dialogues that keep rolling.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you shut it and get in and listen and be influenced and then become aware of what was happening, you can actually change and formulate new thought.
We're going to be the hawk.
Powerful.
The Draper hawk.
Yeah. It's actually Alta Hawks is the rival of Corner Canyon, and so now we got hawks.
Their mascot
Yeah, but I want to be one.
snatching dogs. Okay,
Yeah, totally.
all right.
Last is I want an infectious gratitude for all that is good. Not just the good that I like. I want to start noticing a lot of good stuff. And just people that are into something and they're passionate about it, people that care, people that are good at something. I want to start noticing the good in the world and start trying to accumulate in my mind how much good there is. Not just the good that I think I bring or the good that I like or the good that I use.
Yeah.
But there's good everywhere, and I want to be overwhelmed by good. I'm tired of the negative, the hopeless, the monotonous, the mundane. I want good.
This is interesting. So I caught up with an old friend a couple weeks ago, and referring to a mutual friend that we both love and admire, I said, I haven't talked to her in a while. Is she good? Is she good?
Yeah.
And she proceeded to rattle off all the ways she's not.
She's not
good.
Yeah.
And then I found myself circling back to the question, but is she good?
Yeah,
I mean, there was a lot there
yeah,
to celebrate
yeah,
too.
yeah, right.
It's an interesting
It
thought.
is
Like,
interesting.
what's good to us is very limited.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So what's good about the world?
And isn't it also powerful to know that, like, you were inquiring into it, but when you actually start noticing all the other good things that are going on, it changes you. It changes you emotionally. And when I change my emotion, I have the power to change another's emotion.
Yeah.
A lot of us, by the way, are just lying to each other. And part of it's because we don't see our whole life. We see a part of our life, and then we'll say something, oh, I'm good. But you know they're not. But you also can be a light that can go shine, and not even have to tell them, but just bring your light and your goodness. You checking in on someone is already a sign that they've got something good going on.
Yeah.
No matter how bad it is,
Yeah.
there's something good there.
It's contagious. You're
Yeah.
right. You use that word, contagious.
Powerful.
And it is. This was powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Your
Fun
4
activity.
relationship resolutions
Yeah.
going into winter as we hunker in and
Talk
be
about
more
it, share it.
people-oriented,
Yeah.
close in our spaces, close in our relationships too. Thank you.
Thanks, Brett.
This was really
You bet.
inspiring. Hey, before we say goodbye, the marriage makeover.
We're still doing it.
You're doing it and people are loving
Yeah.
it. MattTownsend.com is where you go for the details. Describe what this is exactly.
You go in, you take an assessment, and then what we do is we help show you the typical thing that happens. We start to feel starved, fight or flight turns on, and we fall into a spiral of behaviors. So I'm going to help you with this assessment, figure out of the 6 negative behaviors, which ones do you possess, and give you some tools to reverse the spiral. And so within about 10 days, you know what your troubles are, you've figured out your spiral, you're starting to reverse it.
Why 10 days? What do you find can happen in 10
Well,
days?
10 days is focus. I want 10 days of just a little time. I only need a few minutes a day to focus on it. And once we get the focus going, it'll start to change you. Then that allows you to make bigger choices. Should we train deeper? Should we get more skills? Should we read some more books and start changing over time?
You're changing lives, Matt Townsend. I mean it. I don't
you,
say that
Brett.
tritely or lightly. MattTownsend.com is where you go for more information on that program and his others as well.